Hey gang, how you doing? I thought I had an overlay where there was going to be a countdown. Welcome to the live stream with Adam. Seems to not be doing what I thought it would be doing. So please forgive me. Technical business right off the bat. Should be counting down, but I guess. What's up, everybody? I'm going to be right with you. I guess no matter how much you prepare for live, let me take this out of my mouth. A little cough drop to save my voice. No matter how much you prepare for live, things don't do exactly what they're going to think that you should do. Back to live mode. Publish. All right. So, what's going on here? Make that go away. Make that go away. Make that go away. All right. It's Adam, and I'm live from my studio in Linz, Austria, and I'm really looking forward to spending some time with you this evening. I'm running the broadcast off my iMac back there. And I've got a laptop here so I can see your replies. I'm going to start out by just playing a couple tunes for you, just let you settle in. And, oops, let me turn the sound off here. And then I'm going to do some Q&A with you. All right, and I really look forward to your questions, and hopefully I can give you whatever guitar advice or musical advice possible. So I'm going to turn this mic off. You know what? I'm going to play a little bit on the guitar. That's the sound check. Can somebody give me a thumbs up on the chat if that sounds good or if you can't hear it? Either mic closer or louder. Jasper, I'm not sure which mic you're talking about. I can turn the direct guitar up a little bit. Okay, Ron Warren says good. Good. I'm going to cut the vocal mic so you don't hear me doing all that vocal stuff that I always do. Let's have some fun. I'm going to play you 2 or 3 tunes and then we'll get into the chat. All right. I'm going to do Everybody Wants to Rule the World as my opener here because it's like I'm doing a concert. So that's usually how I open my concerts. All right. All right, getting the fingers warm. So this is really weird because I'm seeing the laptop over here because this is what I'm going to use for your comments. And I can't see any of the comments now because I'm not close enough, but everything's about 30 seconds later. So I stopped playing here in real life and I'm still playing on the stream. I guess that's the buffer. All righty. I'll play a couple more. I'll play one of my tricky ones. This is going to be Ain't Nobody by Chaka Khan. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, just changed some of the fingerings on that recently, so gotta practice that one. I'm gonna do one more since I got right now. I'm in drop D, and that the tuning isn't dropped in. I got the capo at the first fret. And so usually when I play live shows, I mean, this is live, but of course not with people in the room. You're in your space and I'm in my space. But a really nice piece to play right after this one is Purple Rain by Prince. So I'm going to play Purple Rain for you, and then after I play Purple Rain, I'm going to go sort of over here to the laptop and go back and forth between the computers so I can talk with you and answer your questions a little bit. Feel free, if you have questions about technique, about how I do what I do, how do I practice, all that kind of stuff. It's always interesting to do a little bit of Q&A, so that's what I'm here for this evening. Alrighty, so here is Purple Rain, and then we're going to get into some chit-chat. All right. All right. So I'm going to turn the guitar off here, set it down in the stand. It's you know, it looks very nice in the camera right now, but it's a little chaotic here in the studio. I'm not used to doing this. I'm actually going to switch mics, I think, so that I don't need to bend backward in some kind of strange way. Put that over here, put that over here. Oops. Hang on. Okay. All right. Here I am, and here you are. And I'm really looking forward to some chit-chat. So let me see what's happening over here. Okay. I just want to give a shout out. I see Tim Alexander, Josh Snodgrass. All right. Henry's here. Mito's here. Jasper North. All right. Jasper, you've been posting a lot here. Welcome, everybody. If I don't call you out individually, Mike Andrew Lonis from Study with Adam. Hey, man, super. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so there's lots of questions here. I'm gonna do my best. Squeaky wheels, get the grease. Jasper North, you've been asking about the slapping technique. I get that question a lot. Here, let me get in the center of the cam a little bit, and so I will explain it. Okay, so first I'm going to do the slapping technique without any guitar pickup. You're only going to hear this microphone. It's the string hitting the fret. And so it's not a thumb pick. I'm just doing that with the fleshy part of a finger. See? So you've got to have low action for that. And it's literally, I'm just hitting the string, it's hitting the fret. It's the sound of the metal hitting the metal. It's not so easy to do if your action is high. It's not so easy to do on a nylon string guitar because the string is kind of a little bit more rubbery and loose and there's not a lot of metal. So low action helps. And depending on your pickup situation, here, I'll turn the guitar on now. Depending on your pickup situation, the Maton guitar that I have, the Michael Fix model, the microphone helps that. Now, I've done concerts where it's like really aggravating, or when I started doing this, and sometimes my students do it, and it's a little too loud. So watch this. If I tap right by the 12th or the end of the fingerboard, let me turn the reverb off a little, turn it down. There's the most give in the middle of the string, but if I go to the bridge, all of a sudden, you see it can't push the string all the way down to the fret. There we go. So that's the first part. That's the technical part of it. And then the musical part of it is really the challenge. And I discussed this with my students, a lot of the people who are on studywithadam.com and send me their videos. For a lot of my grooves, I'm hearing an internal drum beat very often that just goes ba-boom, bap, ba-boom, bap, ba-boom, bap, ba-boom, bap. And I'm dedicating to my thumb going ba-boom, bap, ba-boom, bap, ba-boom, back-a-ding, back-a-ding, back, ba-boom, back. Like on Isn't She Lovely, for example, or a jazz song. And then I have some funny different kind of stuff I do with my right hand where it really flops around, almost like rhythm guitar, because I want to always get that, and I want to get all the stuff in between, almost the way like a slap bass player does. So that, I hope that gives you some insight. The most important thing is to hear the music that way. So I've really digested that. Okay, let's. I'm gonna. If I don't get to your question, gosh, please forgive me. There's a lot of questions. Okay. Okay. Um, David Miranda, you love the standards I do, like Miss de Masquinada, Girl from Ipanema. Thank you. I love um, I love playing jazz tunes. Um, they're melodic. They have nice changes, and so kind of depending on who I'm playing for, I'll either do a mix of pop and jazz stuff, or I might lean more into the pop stuff. It very often, I'll be honest, sometimes it has to do with the age of the audience. Meaning, if you're in my age bracket, over 40, and matter of fact, I'm over 50. I just turned 55. Uh, I think us guys and gals, we can handle everything. But a lot of younger people, they don't know the Beatles tunes. They don't know a lot of those. So I'll stick with things like Purple Rain and funky stuff. Okay, Nils, greetings from Munich. Okay, Mike, one of my Study with Adam pro player students. I'm mostly using standard tuning. What's my opinion on some of the extreme altered tunings that some players use? Okay. Now, even within the world of fingerstyle guitar, there are these sort of, and it's the same way in jazz, there are these kind of different little schools of how people do things. There's still subsets. And there are some really talented players whose thing is alternate tunings, where they'll experiment, throw the guitar into a different tuning. And it's, a lot of those players are very percussive, doing a lot of stuff with harmonics, really creative stuff with getting sound, scratching the top of the guitar, adding all kinds of extra stuff to the guitar. That's cool. My only problem with some of the music that's created that way is it's not done in a melody first kind of fashion. So if you're writing a song, most of the time, you want to have the melody first, or the melody and chords first. It should be, in my opinion, a singable melody. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, just think Beatles, think Sting, Stevie Wonder, and plenty of other artists. All the jazz stuff, even if you sing the melody of "Fly Me to the Moon," you can identify it from the melody. And if the whole playing is just comes out of being a bag of tricks, there needs to be something very identifiable in the piece of music. So I use drop D quite a lot. And for every breath you take, I actually use low D and the A tuned down to G. That's the same tuning that Tommy Emmanuel does on Tall Fiddler and I think Antonella's Birthday, because I just couldn't fit the music on any other way. So if my opinion on it is, if the alternate tuning serves the music so that you can support a melody, great. But if you're just only doing music that sounds kind of like a record with no vocals, that can be problematic. I mean, you can get some really cool sound effects, but the question is, does the music stand up like a real piece of music? And that's, of course, a matter of opinion and taste, and I hope I'm not offending anybody. So, okay. I'm going through the chat. Hang on, I want to go back to some of the early questions. I want to see, I don't want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. It's really fun. I'm really enjoying hanging out with you. Roger Matthews. So, way in the beginning, you said you've been working on my piece. I have a song called Harlem, and could never get the click to happen. You know, all of us have different hands. And so Roger's asking me, he's saying, hey, I do a certain technique. He can't get that to happen in his playing. Let me tell you, I can't get the thumb pick to happen. I see all these young guys who are thumb picking their butts off. I mean, it haunts me. I wish I could. There are plenty of other techniques I see people do that I can't do. So what you've got to do, Roger, and everybody, is there's two laws in music, at least my opinion again, that you got to obey: melody and rhythm. And if you're grooving along, whether you have the click or not, is not that important. It's important, believe it or not to try to play like me, but to go with, what is the musical force of Roger. I know that sounds very lofty and very philosophical, but I've only had my nerves racked anytime I've tried to play like anybody else. And I always come back to having to just play like me and do what's comfortable for me. Of course, try to do things out of your comfort zone, but trust in your musicality. I know that might sound like a sideways answer, but I hope that suffices. Okay. Hey, Josh Snodgrass. Hey, Rick Burney's here. Thanks, man. Guitar good, voice a bit low. I can turn the voice up a little bit. I just turned the mic up just a little bit. Probably should have done that earlier. All right. Let's go to some of these other questions. Okay, hang on. I'm just scrolling. Thanks, Tim. Tim Alexander's here. He's always telling me never look back on the thumb pick. Tim books me for a wonderful concert series in Pennsylvania, mansion concerts, sort of right near, either in or near Harrisburg. If you're in the area, you should hook up with Tim and check those concerts out. Peppino D'Agostino just played there, and I believe a great singer-songwriter named Liz Longley played there. I played a gig with Liz about 15 years ago, one of my first fingerstyle gigs, and I remembered how excellent she was. Okay, Dave Gass. How do you play with the other fingers when your thumb has to be so close to the bridge for slapping? Oh, technically, I'm about here most of the time, and I like the sound. Oops. I like the sound. I'm really picking very sideways with my fingers so that I can really pull the string. It's a soft sound because it's the fingertips. Watch, I'll just do it in the mic. So you can hear that I am really pulling the string. It's just not a sharp attack. And I've found my way, my weird way of doing it. So I don't have to move the thumb way down here. So I can kind of be right about there, and I get a sound that I like. All right. Oh, Liz Longley's playing on March 16th. Okay, great. All right. So I'm trying to scroll backwards in the chat, looking for questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Can I show you some Travis picking while playing a melody over it? Jasper asks. I could show you, but I'm not the expert. You're better off with Joe Robinson or Tommy Emmanuel for that. I mean, I could show you some basics. I'm gonna possibly come back to that. That's not really my area of expertise. Stephen. Yes, Don Ross started the slapping thing, and if it's overdone, if you overdo anything, such as the slapping, it can get extremely annoying. You have to be careful. Hey, Abel. Hey, Luca. All right, so keep the questions coming, y'all. I'm waiting. Stephen Mullins asked an interesting question. What about time management? Balancing keeping existing set list up to snuff versus on taking on new tunes. Okay, Stephen, that's a great question. And here goes. I don't really do enough new tunes. I spend a lot of time polishing my repertoire and making sure that it's bulletproof for the stage. Matter of fact, there were some tunes that I was practicing right before the chat this evening that I was thinking, you know, those need a little more practice. Maybe for the next chat, I'll perform them. So I'm very serious about keeping repertoire in shape. If you've played enough concerts, the repertoire really, you start to know it like the back of your hand. You will forget it you'll forget little spots if you don't repeat it or don't practice it for a while. And I have a confession to make. I've been playing my Fender Telecaster a lot. I haven't been playing a lot of fingerstyle. And so I played a fingerstyle gig last week where I opened for my band. And, you know, I had to kind of make friends with this and the Taylor over the last couple of days to get ready for this chat. I've been getting into my Telecaster. So I think it's good to stay fresh, but it's good to have your core repertoire, and I think it becomes clear to you if you have a live performance how much you have to practice your stuff to get it to be bulletproof on stage. Okay. All righty. What is my approach? Michael Sloan. Hey, how you doing? Actually, you know, I can do this nifty thing over here in the software. Watch this. I got to get my ergonomics here in the studio together. Where's Michael Sloan? Check this out. Aha! The magic of software. Michael Sloan asked, what is my approach to developing a new tune? Okay. Thank you, Michael. New cover tune. Firstly, and I suggest this for all of you, I have to be really genuinely inspired by the tune. So it's like it's really getting under my skin and I feel my heart open up. Something like Purple Rain, I heard it on the radio and I was like, yes, I really want to do that. Or Every Breath You Take, or one of those. So that might seem obvious, but if you skip that step and just do a tune because you kind of feel like you should do it, you'll never want to dig deep enough because the motivation won't be deep enough. Okay, so now that I got that out of the way, obviously you want to do a tune. Hang on. So when I go about learning a new tune, one of the most important things I do, I get the skeleton first. And I mentioned this before, the melody and the rhythm. So very often I will use an index finger or the right hand as if I was holding a pick, like, for example, playing funk guitar. Right? I actually play electric guitar like that now. And so I'll have to get in a groove and then play the melody with a groove, even if I don't know all the other stuff that's going to go around it. So, for example, okay, that's Staying Alive, right? Once you get that thread, imagine that like the first fine little line in a drawing. If you were painting something, that shows you where your curve is, right? Then you're going to tack stuff onto that. You're going to tack either chords or bass notes or stuff that fills in between. Usually I like to tack the bass on next. So, sorry, one. So that's a good example. Instead of just going, that's my melody line with the rhythm, but I'll start fleshing it out with rhythm, with intervals. But you've got to get that melody all by itself in time. So imagine the singer of the band has to be able to be out on stage, snapping his or her fingers and singing the tune. That's what you've got to do on the guitar. Then you add the other stuff. So it's a question of adding layers as opposed to, starting with a chord shape and trying to jimmy a melody up on the top. I hope that makes sense. All right. All right. Oh, Mike, thank you that Joe Robinson mentioned me. He and I are buddies, and I was actually inspired by his doing live streams, which is one of the reasons that I'm here with you tonight. Because I love the way he's doing his thing. Hey, Frank Markovich is here. Hey, great to see you. One of my oldest friends, Frank Markovich, who's here on the chat, used to have me come to his place in the Bay Area, California, and do jazz workshops in his garage with a couple buddies. And one time he said, I think it was 2006, he says, "Man, did you ever hear of Tommy Emmanuel?" I said, "No, who's that?" Well, and then here I am now with a mate, and 15 years later. And some of my older videos I actually shot in his house. So, hey, Frank, great to see you. I hope you're good. Somebody remembers when I posted Celebration. Hey, Pete is here. Danila remembers when I posted Kool and the Gang's Celebration. That was one that I just put into private. That just wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough. I'm going to play... hang on. Pick and Stone. You bought a djembe. Pick and Stone, I don't think that's your real name. Not sure what your name is. He commented here that he bought a djembe drum. Frank could tell you, and my Study with Adam members could tell you, I train students the way I was trained by my teacher, who was a musical master, by actually practicing African rhythms on a djembe drum, because you really get the feeling into your hands, and internally some rhythms lock up very nicely. And you experience things where if you were only doing it on the guitar might get in the way. So it's good to go straight to the rhythm, get that in your hands, get that in your body, and then come back to the guitar. I think I'm going to play All of Me for you. Okay, so I'm going to play All of Me, and then we'll chit-chat a little bit Okay, I'm talking into that mic. This was the guitar mic also. Good old condenser mic. I could still talk into this mic, but I'm going to put it away from my face. All right. All right, all right. All right, that was all of me. For the next 5 minutes, maybe less than 5 minutes, I want to go over to the other computer, and I just want to show you briefly about my online school study with Adam. Here it comes. One of the reasons I'm on tonight, and I want to speak with you, and I plan to live stream more than now that I've got this ironed out. The prices of Study with Adam are going to go up on Sunday. And if you've been thinking about lessons with me, I would love to coach you. And you can get in before Saturday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. You can get grandfathered in at the existing price, which is really, really low. So I just want to go on real quick. Bear with me, and then we're going to go back to some Q&A after that. And I can do Q&A when I'm on this computer. And I realized I can turn on this screen over here behind me, but the camera is not going to look as good because it's going to be the webcam. But I'll just go to that so that you can see me chit-chat with you. All right? And please feel free to ask questions. Okay? All righty, so boom. Okay, so you're seeing me now. Hey, everybody, you're seeing me now on the webcam, and you're seeing my Chrome window, and you're seeing the info regarding that live stream. I just want to give you a little bit of a tour of Study with Adam to show you what is inside. Hey, greetings, RV Music, greetings. Okay, by the way, I'm there with Peppino D'Agostino on the front. Actually, you know, maybe I could just do the window here. Hang on, let me see, what am I doing here? Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do, I think I'm just gonna do the screen. There we go. Okay, so Study with Adam is the place where I teach people, just like you, guitar online. And when you log in, I'm going to make this real quick. First of all, students, all of you, can book a free 15-minute Zoom chat with me anytime. Okay, so if you want to chit-chat face-to-face, tell me what you're working on. That's for all members of the site. There's a free 14-day trial, so if you want to check it out and you're not sure, hey, it's free for 14 days, and even after that, there's 30 days money back. Let me take you now to the watch and play section. This is where there are courses. So getting started, guided lesson pathways. I have a little 12-week program if you're not sure what to practice. Total beginner fingerstyle guitar, blues guitar for beginners. So these are full-on courses. And then I've got a bunch of cover songs. Let me show you what I got here. Yesterday, Killing Me Softly in My Life, you see. And I've, so these are very long videos where I walk you through step by step and show you exactly where to put your fingers. Put the camera back on. That's not necessarily always the best way to learn. You know, I've had students, for example, they want to learn Fly Me to the Moon, and they try learning my arrangement, and it can be a little disjointed. So in a lot of cases, you're better off learning the melody and learning the chords, and then being able to assemble, get your head wrapped around the arrangement. But I'll help you with all that. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. There's the cover songs, original songs of mine, Christmas songs, cool little blues, tips and tricks, walking bass lines, technique stuff. Some of these are also on YouTube, but not all of them. Groove stuff. So here's the groove video where I show you how to play the drums. So that's, there's a music theory stuff, and there's even more. This is very valuable stuff. And for example, jazz guitar stuff. When I did this How to Solo Over 251 DVD back in 2006, I was working on my first fingerstyle pieces. So that's a whole DVD that I did in a past life. So there's, and then, real quick, and I'm going to stop in 2 minutes, I swear. We do monthly Zoom chats, which are kind of like what there's lots of echo. I'm sorry. Oh gosh, sorry. Hang on. I'm not sure what to do about the echo. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not getting any extra sound in here. Very sorry about that. Let me try a different. Let me try a different mic. Is this better? Is this less echo? Not quite sure. I hope it's less echo. Okay, so there are Zoom chats where it's a small group of 25 to 30 of us where we all can do Q&A, and it's a little bit more interactive, for example, than what we're doing today, because I only see you on text. And then the last feature I want to show you is on the Pro Player account. That's a little more expensive. Students can upload videos to me. So here you see Scott uploaded a video of him playing Little Martha by the Allman Brothers. Turns into a blog post of sorts, and then I give a personal reaction back. But that's on the Pro plan. So that's just sort of a quick tour of Study with Adam. And I'm going to go back to the other camera now. Okay. All right. So it's a kind of a neat hybrid learning platform where it's not just private lessons with me, the way if you did a one-off Zoom lesson and that was it. It's sort of some of that. And at the same time, it's a little bit like the sites you're familiar with, TrueFire, all that, where there's a library of videos. So you can work those against each other and be in close contact with me, where I can coach you and watch what you're doing and we talk face to face. All righty. Okay. I don't know what was going on with that echo. Something bizarre in the digital sphere of things. So please ask me questions. Greetings from Linz. Michael Starmeyer. Michael, I live in Linz. I am in 4040 Linz Urfahr right now. I live here, so give me a call. Okay. Very sorry about that echo, everybody. So, yeah. So just to put a button on that, the year price, the price for 1 year of Study with Adam on the standard plan is going to go up $100. So if you're thinking about it, just go for the free trial. Honest to God, I run it. You know, there's no risk. God forbid you get charged accidentally, you know, and you didn't want to be there, I'll refund you. You know, but just get in there and sign up and check it out. All righty. So let's get back to questions and music. We're coming up on about 55 minutes. I think I'd like to end this in a couple minutes so that it doesn't go on for too long. Is everybody still there? Okay, I see Sabina. The last comment, as I see, it's okay meanwhile. So are you all out there? I'm not seeing any chit chat right now, but I see myself on the screen. Okay, Blue Crufel. Hey, man, you're there. Okay, good, everybody. You're all still there. Super. I saw a little less typing in the chat box. I didn't know if you were there. Great. So I think I've got time for a couple more questions, and then I'd like to sort of wrap things up. It's about 9 o'clock at night in my part of the world. Okay, D.A. Williams. Advice for a new guitarist learning fingerstyle. Okay, that's a great question. I would say learning fingerstyle guitar. Work on a piece that is easy enough for you to play, that you're not trying to do something that's too difficult. Okay? Because that'll be really discouraging. For example, I'm an amateur piano player. I never really took lessons, but I play a little. If I were to get into practicing, I would work on some kids' pieces or some easy pieces. I wouldn't go out and try to get the craziest fast Beethoven or Mozart thing. So it's very important. You know, you might end up getting tablatures of Tommy Emmanuel or me or somebody playing something very complex, and you shouldn't get discouraged. Play something simple, maybe just outside your comfort zone, and pay particular attention to good timing and that the melody comes out enough in the playing. Okay, I'd have to probably see what you were doing and see where you were at to judge it a little bit better. It's a very personal question. All right. Hey, Rick Frank, you've been lurking for a long time. Great, man. Great. Finally, and now I know who you are. Peter asks, do I have any... I'm going to put this on the screen again, just simply because I know how. Hey, there we go. Peter Edwards asks, do you have any favorite warm-up practice techniques specifically for fingerstyle? As a matter of fact, I do. And it might seem kind of counterintuitive. There's a lesson here, and I believe you can get tablatures on adamrafferty.com. That's a different site than studywithadam.com. If you go to adamrafferty.com, there's a thing, I believe, called groove scales. And so I'll tell everybody here, I'll tell you my warm-up. I do this with students at workshops. It's going to seem so simple. You're going to go, that's all you do? But yeah. First thing I do is I get the rhythm on my African drumming going, because there's certain kind of energy gets stirred up when I do that. The next thing I do very simple scales. First with my thumb, up all the strings, and then with my fingers, just to get a good groove and a good sound. A lot of guitarists focus on playing fast, having that be the holy grail. And I wish I could play faster. I used to be able to play very fast. But I found that by playing solo guitar, my responsibility really shifted, that I had to really lay down. I had to be the source of the groove. I couldn't just play fast stuff on top of other people grooving. So, it's all fine and good to say, I want to groove, but there has to come a point where you really address that in your fingers and your touch. So I'll do some scales like this every day. Really, when I take the guitar out, I'll do major and then usually harmonic minor. All thumb, all the whole way. Chanka, chanka. Take the name off the screen so it doesn't distract. And then I'll do various combinations with my fingers. For example, I like doing 3 fingers. It's not flashy, okay? But I'm assuming the responsibility almost the way a bass player would touch the strings. And so there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off of things that I can do, and things that I can't do. So it's not really that blistering speed kind of excitement, but I feel very confident getting a lot of flesh on the strings and playing with a good groove. Then when I'm plugged into a loud PA system, it feels really good to lay into it because I've found what feels right to me. So, for example, for Isn't She Lovely? really that kind of, it's not a real sharp sound, but that kind of sound that really has a push like a bass, and then that can really express funky and groovy rhythms. So that all starts with, it's how I'm touching the string. Okay. Okay. Oh, thanks, Henry. All right. All right. I think I've got time for one more question, and then it always hurts to sign off, but I'm gonna commit to doing this more often, and I'm really glad you're here and this evening. And if I get my ergonomics of the studio set up a little bit better, maybe I'll actually plan some lessons where you can put the guitar in your hands and play along with me. Anybody else? Last questions. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming to the chat. This has really been fun, and I can't believe how far YouTube has come. Greetings from Germany. Peter, yeah, you got it. Henry, thanks. Thanks. Any advice on double stops? I was just working on a new tune with my band today where I play some double stops. I can show you something. Oops. Let me see if another couple questions come in. Anybody? Hey, Miroslav. All right, man. Great to see you. Anybody else? You don't have to thank me yet. There's one more question coming. Thank you, Nigawa. My eyes are bad. I'll give you a little hint on double stops. And it's funny, Tommy Emmanuel does something similar with a pick, I believe, when he plays the song Mona Lisa. Something that I do that's kind of a bizarro technique. I'll use one finger. See? I'm using my index finger, but I'm plucking two strings. And what that does, if you're like me, I play with no fingernails. It puts a little bit more oomph on the B string. And so even for that, watch this. It's like a Jimi Hendrix chord, but at the 5th fret. I'm pinching that with two fingers. I found that even though a lot of players, for example, Richard Smith, Chet Atkins, a lot of guys will play with 3 fingers and pluck all the strings, the top 3 strings. I found that I had better control over bringing the melody out when I went this more with one finger, kind of strumming, but down. And so the last time I played with Tommy Emmanuel was actually a while now. It's about 7 years. I think he was showing me with a pick, and he says, yeah, Chet Atkins would do this to bring the... Whatever, Mona Lisa. Something like that. And he noticed that by making contact first with the E string and actually strumming downward, it would help the melody come out. So I kind of arrived at a similar thing. So that will... That's just one finger. Okay. All righty. Yeah, Frank's got nails. Yeah, Frank's got nails. there's a couple reasons I don't use fingernails. One is I love Wes Montgomery, and I find that there's a way that I can place the notes rhythmically with flesh on my finger that I can't quite do with a nail or a pick, even though you would think it shouldn't matter, but it's just a tactile thing. And also, I don't want to ever have to deal with breaking a nail right before a gig and then having a heart attack and having to get out glue and sandpaper and all that. I just want to be able to pick up the guitar and play it without having to think about all that. All righty, everybody. Well, I'm going to sign off. I just want to thank you officially now for coming. It's great. We've been on about an hour and 10, so I think it's a good time. I wish you all a great day wherever you are in the world. And God bless. Please feel free anytime to send me an email at adam@adamrafferty.com, and I will answer your questions and be as helpful as I possibly can. All right, everybody. Now I got to figure out how to turn the live stream off. Let's see if I can figure that out. Of course, I don't know how to end it. Okay. There's a big button that says finish. Maybe that's it. All right, everybody. God bless. I wish you all well. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. All right.